The world's most iconic artist, Vincent van Gogh, was secretly a skilled chef who cooked elaborate meals for his starving friends in Paris. For years, the public saw Vincent van Gogh as a struggling artist with a troubled mind. However, few know about his hidden talent for cooking and the impact it had on his relationships. Growing up in a conservative family in the Netherlands, Van Gogh was expected to follow a traditional path, but he had a passion for food, which he expressed through his art and his relationships. In Paris, Van Gogh befriended a group of struggling artists who were also foodies. Together, they would scour the markets for the freshest ingredients and experiment with new recipes. But what's surprising is that Van Gogh's cooking skills were not just a hobby, they helped him form deep connections with his friends. The smell of sizzling onions and garlic wafted through his studio, mingling with the smell of paint and turpentine. As Van Gogh's cooking skills improved, so did his relationships with the people around him. His friends would often gather at his studio for impromptu dinner parties, where they would share stories and laughter. But behind the scenes, Van Gogh's struggles with mental health continued to intensify.
He would often feel overwhelmed by the pressure to produce art, and his cooking became a way to cope.
It's been said that Van Gogh's most famous painting, The Starry Night, was inspired by a particularly vivid dream he had after a long night of cooking. The swirling clouds and stars in the painting reflect the turbulent emotions he felt as he struggled to balance his art and his cooking. As Van Gogh's health began to deteriorate, his friends and family noticed a significant change in his behavior. He became increasingly isolated, and his cooking became a solitary activity. The smell of food wafting from his studio became a rare occurrence, replaced by the scent of turpentine and oil paints. Despite his struggles, Van Gogh's legacy lives on through his art and his cooking. In fact, many of his paintings feature scenes of food and cooking, reflecting his deep connection to the culinary arts. So the next time you visit a Van Gogh exhibit, look for the subtle hints of his love for cooking.
It's a side of Van Gogh that few know about, but one that speaks volumes about his creativity and resilience. Now, you might be wondering what happened to Van Gogh's cooking skills after he passed away. Well, it's been said that his friend, Paul Gauguin, continued to cook and experiment with new recipes in his honor.
The tradition of Van Gogh's cooking lives on, a testament to the power of food to bring people together. But what's even more fascinating is that Van Gogh's love for cooking has inspired a new generation of artists and chefs. Today, you can find Van Gogh-inspired cuisine in restaurants and cafes around the world. From Starry Night sliders to sunflower salads, the culinary world has found a new way to pay tribute to the artist's legacy. And as you enjoy your meal, remember the humble beginnings of Van Gogh's cooking journey. For in the end, it's not just about the food, it's about the people and the connections we make through it.
As the artist himself once said, the earth laughs in flowers.
And what's more beautiful than a meal shared with loved ones? The smell of food, the sound of laughter, and the joy of connection. That's what Van Gogh's cooking was all about. So let's raise a fork to the artist's love for cooking and the memories we make around the table. For in the world of art and food, there's no greater masterpiece than the one we create together. And that's a story worth savoring. If you enjoyed this fascinating tale of art and food, subscribe for more incredible stories like this. And don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment below. We love hearing from you. Thanks for watching, and until next time, bon appetit. Subscribe to our channel for more stories of art, food, and culture.